Every day, thousands of students walk in school and take everything for granted. We don't realize that there are kids our age who are starving, who are homeless, and who are passing away right now. Today, more people die out of hunger than at any other point in history, and there are about 1 billion people suffering from it. Every minute, 4 children die, and 13.5% of the total population is malnourished. The cause of hunger is still a great mystery to even today. Theories have attempted to explain the origins of it, and there are many questions to how it has become such a globalized issue and why it's such an extremely long-term one. However, many scientists and geographers have come to a general consensus that there are 2 main reasons why it exists: colonialism and the lack of agricultural infrastructure investment. Colonialism is an attempt by one country to establish settlements and to impose its political, economical, and cultural principles in another territory. This has started world hunger in several continents, especially Africa. Back in the 19th century, European colonizers placed superimposed boundaries, which are boundaries imposed on an area by a colonizing power that is unconcerned about pre-existing cultural patterns, on Africa through the Berlin Conference of 1884. This not only caused riots and ethnic cleansing throughout the continent, but also caused tremendous harm to traditional and subsistence farming that would have evolved into great economies by turning them into cash crop plantations. And although colonialism is no longer practiced as frequently, neocolonialism has taken its place. Neocolonialism is where core and semi-periphery countries attempt to control the economical, political, and military aspects of periphery states, taking advantage of its unstable government. This further delays it from developing and industrializing. The dependency theory also proposes that colonialism and neocolonialism are the main causes of global poverty. The lack of funding for agricultural development is another big obstacle that stunts a periphery country and keeps it stuck in its state of poverty and hunger. The world systems theory suggests that wealthy countries benefit from other poorer countries and exploit the citizens and government. The 3-tier structure divides the world into the core, the periphery, and the semi-periphery as means to help explain the interconnections between places in the global economy. Core countries process higher levels of education, more advanced technology, and incorporate tertiary services, which are services with transportation, communications, and utilities. Periphery countries incorporate lower to lowest levels of education, technology, and primary services that are concerned with the direct extraction of materials from Earth's surface, generally through agriculture. Semi-periphery countries like China own traits from both. This hierarchy eventually leads to capitalism. Capitalism is a model where people, corporations, and states produce goods and exchange them in the world market with the goal of achieving profit, aka where the poor get poorer and the rich get richer. And because the government of third world countries are taken advantage of, there isn't enough money to purchase crucial agricultural infrastructure like irrigation and sewers. This is because the transportation costs to deliver them are too high, according to the least cost theory. The effects of hunger are evident, even in core countries. People line walls, holding a cardboard sign in their hand, or in other countries, lie on the street and wait for death to take them. This is a globalized issue, and the UN has even recognized it. Even a simple feeling of emptiness can lead to starvation, which leads to chronic hunger and malnutrition. Eventually, if worsened, it can trigger depression, dementia, and eventually death. Nowadays, organizations like the Samaritan's Purse and Hunger Relief International have partnered with developing countries like Haiti and Guatemala to find solutions for hunger reduction. And recently, the UN has announced that the number of starving people have dropped by 260 million. Ironically, in the West, What strikes us is not starvation, but its very opposite: obesity. According to the World Health Organization, more than 1.6 billion people on Earth are overweight or obese. That is 60% more than those who go hungry. Every day, we walk past people who are starving, turn off the television when we see starving African children, and ignore the pleas of charities begging us to help.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
What have you done to impact the world and the younger generations?